Well, I'm just past 6 weeks from having back surgery, and I thought I'd give a big update on what happened and what to expect if someone else is having spinal fusion. So I know many people have back problems and things like that, and you get into a situation where your the disc in your back is protruding out from between your vertebrae. It's pressing on your nerves, and then that usually the first round, like it seems like they do a what's called a discectomy, where what's bulging out they cut that off, and hopefully the kind of a membrane that's around there that will seal itself and be okay in order to allow you to function. Well, my surgeon that I had surgery 19 years ago told me, this will get you 10 years and then we'll see you again. Well, I got 19 years out of it, so I guess I did pretty good. Kept off of it, kept track of it, made sure to take care of my back. So I'm going to switch here. This is an x-ray. I'm going to switch to an x-ray of my back. It's got screws and everything, so if you don't like that, then maybe not watch the next part. Okay, here we go. So here's an x-ray, a sideways, from the side x-ray of my spine. So up here we have a really nice good disc. We can see that it's all happy there. Right here we can see there's this little box, this little thing right here, and that is the insert. So what happens when you have nerves that come out here, right here, that feed your legs and feet and everything else? What will happen is the disc that is normally supposed to be sitting, I can do better than that, normally supposed to be sitting right here, starts to protrude out, and it gets out and it hits that, and anytime that disc hits that, that's what's causing your pain. So during this surgery, the disc itself is completely removed. So there's no more of that nerve pain or anything like that. You might have, some tingling in your legs or something. I have a toe, one side of my toe that's numb. I have another toe on the other foot that's been numb since the last surgery. So it's something that I get used to and isn't too bad. The tingling, they say, may be reduced. It may take a year or more for that to kind of be reduced. But now right in here, there is bone graft material that is growing that's making these two bones into one piece. So this eventually will all be one piece of bone right there. That'll all be one piece. It just like completely combines it together. So, and that's what makes it, strong, is that it's going to form one piece. The real problem is that this step right here takes a long time. I don't know if any of you have ever had, like a tooth insert. You have an artificial tooth put in, and they drill it out and they stick bone graft material in there, and that can take like 2 to 3 months before they can go back in and put the screw in and everything for a dental implant. So that takes quite a while, and that's just a little tiny thing in your gums, right? So this is like a big space in here that's in your spine. So I am still wearing, I don't know if I can even get my camera over here. I'm still wearing Romicam. This down here, which is the back brace. I need to keep wearing this, and if I look on the back, there's it's got these little spines here that you have this here that you pull and stretch, and it tightens it up, and you put it there. You got to wear this for minimum of 3 months. So that's something you're going to have to deal with when you're going through this whole procedure. So let me kind of walk through some of it, like from pre-operation all the way to where I am now and potentially in the future. Okay, so pre-operation, of course, you need insurance approval, and it's one of my friends had a baby, and his somebody came in and did like a an epidural or whatever for before they were having the baby, and that one person was not covered under their insurance plan. So it's very, you're laying there on the operating table. Do you have to call okay, I need to check everybody's credentials to make sure you're covered under my insurance. Almost getting to be that way, I think. But so make sure you get your insurance done and your everything that is covered, and that that everything's going to be covered end to end. Otherwise, you're going to be on the hook for that, and do with that what you will. Pay it, don't pay it. That's up to you. Okay, so after you get your surgery date, within 30 days of that surgery date, you need to have some things done, preferably within a couple of weeks before that. You need a chest x-ray. They need to make sure your lungs are clear, make sure there's you don't have any kind of infection or, any kind of blockage or anything in your chest. You also need an ECG. You need to make sure that there aren't any weird pings or anything in your heart that's, doing anything strange. You need a general set of blood work that, testing cholesterol and all the other sugars and everything else that are in your blood. And at the hospital, they had me do the blood typing at the hospital, so that's like a separate channel that goes right to the blood bank, so that they know if there's any problem to have that type of blood on hand. Now, this is not a very deep kind of operation, so they're not like digging into you and getting into your liver or anything else. It's just in your back, right? They're just opening your back up a little bit, so you're not necessarily even going to need any blood, but they just want that as an emergency kind of thing. So now let's get to the day of the operation here. Of course, you don't drink any food or anything after midnight. If you have some type of, I did take pain medication like an hour before I went to the hospital, and they said I could take that with just a very little bit of water, and they said that was fine. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to, I'm going to be moving around. We're going to be manipulating me, on beds and off beds and moving me around. I want to be able to be as pain-free as I can. So I took, some Norco before I went to the hospital. They said that was fine. So then they give you this pack of, at least my hospital did, of antiseptic wipes. It's like 6 wipes, and you go through your whole body, all your arms, your chest, both legs, everywhere else, your back, your front, all over the place. And these antiseptic wipes have kind of a little bit of a gel kind of thing on that stays on your skin, and it continues to fight bacteria and things on your skin. So you do that, clean your entire body. Then you put on new, cleanly, freshly washed clothing, so there's nothing on those. And then you can head to the, after a little, I think my surgery was like at 5:30, or I had to be at the hospital at 5:30 in the morning. So we get there to the hospital, and they give you the hospital gown, but they also give you another set of antiseptic wipes, and you clean your whole body again. They throw you in the hospital gown, then they hook you up to the IV. The absolute worst part was getting that IV. That was the absolute worst part, because they do it in the back of your hand now. Most places I've seen, they do it in the back of your hand, and they have a needle with a plastic little sheath that goes in there that's about 1.5 inches long, and they have to feed that thing all the way into your hand. And that, man, I went white as a sheet, was about to pass out just from that little tiny thing. So that's, if you can get by that, once you get by that, you're pretty much okay. So we hung out there for a little bit. They got me into the operating room, and once you're in there, I saw they had like my CT scan, x-rays and everything up on the wall, so they knew where they were going and what they were doing. They knew where they were going to cut into me, because there's the scar from before. I said, it's just a zipper. Just open it up, do what you need to do and zip it back up, But so the anesthesiologist gave me some medication in my IV, and about 10 seconds later, I'm out. And during the operation, so the operation goes on. During the operation, at some point, they do an x-ray before they start buttoning you, they don't really sew you up, they staple you up. So they they do an X-ray, and then along about 5 o'clock, I think, in the morning the next day, they rolled me in and had me do a CT scan to again confirm that everything is good. And everything was good. We get visits, so your post-operation, you're going to get visits from the doctor, from the doctor's assistants, from physical therapy. You have to learn how to get out of bed, because there's a special procedure to get out of bed now. And that is so you're laying in bed and you bring your knees up and then you roll onto your side, and then you put your hands next to you on your side and push yourself up sideways. So that way you're not doing any kind of weird bending and twisting to get yourself out of bed, because you want to make sure that your spine stays as straight as possible for as long as possible. Then once you get up, you have to put on your back brace and never take it off. So you can take it off to shower, and if you're just laying in bed, then you don't have to have it on because your whole back is supported and everything like that. So those are the 2 times. Every time, everywhere else for the 3 months, you have to have it on. Okay. So once I got home, they gave me some pain medication, and so you'll have to have someone who will go and get that pain medication for you, because hospitals don't have pharmacies anymore. So you have to kind of wait a few days before you can shower the first time. So basically about 2 days, and then I got up, took a shower. We had to change the bandage that's over the staples and stuff. So that was pretty good. I mean, it was very clean. I mean, there was very little blood. I wasn't bleeding or anything else. So then one thing that did help was we have some of these little ice packs, the little square ones that came as one big sheet, but we were able to cut it in half and then wrap them in a towel and just lay on those. And then I almost had no swelling at all. I mean, maybe it was because I had surgery previously, but I mean, I had it barely even swelled up at all. It wasn't uncomfortable or anything. And they gave me, Oxy, of course, when I was at home, while I was doing that, laying there. And I really only needed it for about 4 or 5 days and then stopped. I wasn't even taking them very often. So, the ice packs, I think, were the key to the whole thing. So then we replaced the bandage, cover over the staples after a few days. And then the next week we went back to the doctor and got the staples removed, which was about the last painful part of anything. And you need to be walking, like 10 minutes or so every day, because that's going to keep it so that you're not getting clots or anything in your legs and all that. After I went back to the doctor, after the 10 days, then I started getting up and walking at least a mile a day. And now I'm up to walking about 3, maybe 4 miles a day. This is 6 weeks out. So at this point, still this many weeks out, I can only lift 5 pounds, nothing more than 5 pounds. I'm still not able to drive a car. So that's going to be a challenge for people who have to go places and do things, is that you can't drive anywhere. You have to be taken somewhere, taken to where you need to go, because I cannot look back, to see who's behind me and doing, I don't have a swivel chair in the car so I can swivel around and look back and see who's behind me. I don't have that. So definitely need to have someone that is willing to drive you somewhere. If you have to get back to work, then that's going to be a challenge. Maybe get a carpool or something. And when you sit at work, if you're sitting somewhere at a desk or something, you need to have your back brace on, and you cannot twist or swivel or anything else or do anything like that. So keep that in mind. So after the 3 months that you get the back brace off, you still have not recovered. This bone graft has still not completed its growth. So it's going to continue to grow for up to a year after the surgery. So the majority of it's going to be 6 months, a year. It's going to really be baked, cooked and baked in. And at the end, you're never going to be able to lift anything more than 50 pounds. Probably best to keep it under that. But all the reading and stuff else that I've done is that's kind of a hard limit. You're not, just don't even after the 2 years and everything else, it's going to be kind of a hard limit to not go over that 50 pounds. And so that's it. I mean, I'm at the 6-7 week point, so I can only lift 5 pounds. I can't drive. I do a lot of walking. That's good. I can't do anything like running or anything else that's impactful because you don't want to be pounding on that at all. So, okay. So there you go. That's my complete story so far. I'll summarize as whether the surgery at this point was worth it. I would say 100%, especially for me because my disc had completely blown out. I looking at the other CT scans and MRIs and everything else. It was never going to go back. It was never going to get better. Nothing was ever. I had the 2 pieces of, if I come back here and turn that off, the 2 pieces of bone that are in there that are here. So this bone here, that's here, and this bone here, that's right there. They were actually down hitting each other and rubbing against each other, and I could feel them grind against each other as I was like laying in bed or rolling around, rolling over in bed or something. I could feel them grind against each other. So the only option for me was this fusion treatment, this fusion procedure. And it's been great. I mean, I'm up and around. I mean, they were like telling me, I was at the doctor's office and they're like, why are you walking so fast? I'm like, well, I'm better. I can walk as fast as I need to. It's fine. So I did have a really good doctor in the area, Dr. Herman. He's really good. All of his staff is really good. I guess that's the biggest thing. My regular general doctor also was really good, helped force get some of this through. The original schedule was that I was going to have the surgery this week, which was the second week in September, but somehow God made it happen to where I had my surgery on August 8th. So that made it, incredible that I didn't have to wait so long in pain and everything else. And I know that was a lot of prayer, a lot of people at the doctor's office, making it all happen for me. I've told them over and over again how much I appreciate all their time and effort. Make sure to do that and let your doctor know how much you appreciate his time and stuff. I mean, he's getting paid well, right? But still, he's got that experience and that knowledge. So if you have any other questions about this surgery, anything I didn't cover, anything that you want to ask about how different things, what maybe things you can do, you can't do, different procedures about getting in and out of things and stuff like that, just go ahead and comment down below and I'll be sure and respond. And if you're coming up on this surgery, just remember you're going to have a big recovery plan after that. I still have physical therapy that I need to do about strengthening the back and all of that. So all these things are coming. It's a good 4 to 5 month process once you have the surgery done. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, thanks for watching this and take care.